Hello, welcome back to the High Performance Podcast. It's a little bit late with the episode this week. Actually, I shouldn't apologize because we've been late with the episode a few weeks in a row, but the boys are back. But yeah, I've been a little bit slow teeing up the episodes while I've been in New Zealand. I'll be honest, I talk a lot about how it's so sick having an online business. You just work from wherever. I've been doing fuck all work since I got here. Just wanting to come clean about that. Like, I remember after a few of that period where I was just flying to Europe a lot, and just doing a lot of traveling in general. I was like, I don't know how Jordan Shallow does it. Like that he genuinely works on the business, in the business, and he's on the road perpetually. He's just the most productive man ever. I don't have that. I'm a creature of routine. I'm starting to realize. Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to turn this into like a personal self-reflection rant. Yeah. This is something that came up in therapy a lot. It's just like, yeah, you go there to work on yourself, but then there's also like this point of like accepting who you are. But having said that, if it's important to you, you'll change it. And I would travel more with less guilt if I was able to be a bit more productive on the road. Sometimes I'm good. Sometimes I'm good. If I'm traveling like with Jacob or someone like that, it's definitely like a little bit more work focused. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm having a fucking great time. Hasn't all been great times though. Did I tell you, cunts, I thought I was going to see my best mate get eaten by a shark? I can't remember if I told you.
I think you texted me that, but
it was fucked. It was fucked. He didn't see any of it. That's the craziest thing. Yeah, Burnsy, our boy.
Shit.
I saw a giant fucking shark, literally like 1.5 meters behind him, and I was just watching from the sandbank, and I was like, "Fuck!" It was a lot. I didn't want to lead with this story because that was like our third stop of the trip. Yeah, third stop of the trip. Should I start from the start, or do you want shark attack right up front?
No, give us the full
choose your adventure. All right. Anyway, so when did I leave? Left last Tuesday or Tuesday before last, and there was that fucking bomb cyclone in New South Wales. What was that like for you guys? Did you guys experience much of a cyclone?
Nothing.
Because we were just, me and Burnsy, we had a really early flight. It was like, not that early, like 7 a.m. flight, which would have meant we would have had to leave at like 3:30 a.m. if we wanted to like leave from Wollongong that morning and make it to the airport in time. So we booked an airport hotel, and just as the quote unquote bomb cyclone was hitting, I don't know, it was just kind of hectic winds, and I'd never flown in anything like that. We were just nervous about our flight being grounded, but all ended up being sweet. Bit of a bumpy takeoff. And it was sort of interesting. Like, I was really excited when I saw this bomb cyclone appear. I was like, oh, fuck. Going to have crazy swell on the West Coast for the start of this trip. But we were checking the charts, and it was kind of just like really messy along the West Coast of New Zealand, where a lot of the spots we'd sort of originally circled and were keen to go were. So we actually ended up on the West Coast about 2 hours like southeast of Auckland, east coast to start out, at this town, Whangamata. It just had this sick left sandbar. I mean, all these places that we're going, there's sort of surf towns and things like that. So there's like so many different breaks and angles in the area, but like, yeah, such a picturesque, idyllic little sandbar, like working like a fucking point break, clear as fuck water. And just like, I always talk about there's like just this Jurassic Park vibe to New Zealand. I put it together. Jurassic Park was just filmed in Hawaii, and obviously like similar sort of area, the Pacific, obviously a lot lower, but you get New Zealand, you really do get that integration between like, I don't know, that there is some weirdly tropical vibes about it in its own way, and I guess it's just like a Pacific thing. But then you've got that like Australian bush vibe, but it's all just like mashed over the top of each other. Like you just see these like ferns and plants around like Aussie looking sort of non-deciduous trees. Like I just never see combinations like that in nature. It's yeah, fucking beautiful. But Whangamata was a bit more of a town. It wasn't like fully out in the middle of Whoop Whoop with no one around. And then the second place we went, not as good a waves in terms of like what I absolutely fucking love, just like pumping beaches. We went to Piha, which is like, it's like their equivalent of like the Royal National Park. Because you know how like Royal National Park in New South Wales is like one of the most beautiful places in the world. And like when you're there, you feel like you're 1,000 miles away from anything, or like anything that would be like an urban environment. Whereas like you're literally like 30, 40 minutes away from the center of the city nearly, or maybe a little bit longer than that, maybe like 50 minutes or something like that. Piha's the same. It's like, 30 or 40 minutes out of the edges of Auckland, and just like the most insane mountains pushed up right against the sea. And yeah, it just makes a fucking amazing scenery. That was nice as well. And it sort of was a little bit like Era or like North Gary in the sense that like there was a few houses around and stuff like that. They had the like their equivalent of an RSL and just fucking.
Yeah, I think a lot of people say like, what's the point of going to like a country that's so close to home? But did you feel like you were in another land?
This is the thing. Like dude, yeah, like the natural beauty of New Zealand. Like I don't know. I'm kind of worse than those people because I think there's a whole bunch of places where I'm like, why the fuck would anyone go there? Not just if you want to go there, like by all means, I'm stoked for you. And New Zealand is somewhere that I come purely for the waves. I'm not that, but then once I am here, I'm like, fuck me dead. This place is beautiful, and it's just so nice that I like to come here for a hobby. And it also just happens to be one of the most beautiful places in the world. I mean, you saw what was on my story this morning. Just fucking world-class waves and just filthy views everywhere you look. It's just insane. But yeah, so we got some decent waves in Piha. Been a couple of lay days and stuff like that. Like it hasn't been absolutely cranking waves the whole time. But that's part of the search for wave. So this is another reality of like just fucking driving everywhere, trying to chase down the best waves on a giant island with so many different coastlines. I'm back to hating on Surfline. Their swell forecasting is absolutely fucked. Absolutely fucked. Like, I feel like back in the day, it always used to be like they oversold the conditions. Now it's not even that. You're like, I can just sort of imagine that's going to be 20% shitter, whatever they say. So often now it's better, it's worse. The wind's blowing the complete opposite fucking direction. And there's no accountability. Is this like a weather app? There's no accountability. There's nowhere to complain. There's nowhere to get like, that they should pay me when they do a shitty swell forecast. Like, fuck, you drive like 6 hours based on some shit that they wrote on the internet, based on horoscopes or God knows fucking what science they're using there at Surfline. They talk about all this AI technology that just... And this is the thing. They're world leaders in it. Maybe an accurate swell forecast just can't be done, but stop fucking... I mean, I cancelled my subscription to their service for so long, but I got back into it.
Wow. That's a stitch up.
I mean, the weather's for free on the TV, but they're not just going into as much detail as you need with the swell forecast and direction and just winds and tides and stuff like that. Not that you can get the tide. You can get it all for free, but I guess they just make it convenient. There's a business lesson in there, giving people things that are technically out there for free, but just making things convenient for cunts. In this day and age, I'll tell you what. If you want to learn more about the general physical preparation training philosophy, we put together an extremely practical course covering all the different aspects of physical preparation, as well as a unit on programming, so you know how to tie it all together and produce the same world-class results that we get with our athletes. We've got pre-recorded lectures, a community page where you can ask questions and interact with the other GPP coaches, as well as monthly calls where you can ask questions live or just catch up and hang out with us. Check out the link in the show notes for more info. Anyway, back to the show.
No live broadcasts on the surf?
There are cams, but a lot of the places we're going, there's not like a fucking surf cam.
Okay.
To be fair, most of them at one beach there will be. But then again, a lot of the time it's like you don't want to wake up and look at the swell cam and then have to drive 6 hours or something like that. You want to drive the night before because of what you think it's going to be doing a couple of days into the future. Like that's what we've been doing, driving to a new town because apparently the swell's on and just booking like 2 to 3 days of accommodation and then either leaving or extending based on the conditions. But one place where we packed up a little bit early was the Great North. So like, or the North, sorry, I keep calling it the Great North. It's the Northlands of the North Island, which is like, it's actually a lot flatter. Like you do get those really big rolling hills and things like that, but definitely a lot less like mountainous and things like that. So that was sort of surprising. I had an idea of what the Great North would be in my head. And I wouldn't say, it was a little bit epic what I had in my head, but ended up being like quite more like just like farmland, still super low population and things like that. But yeah, sort of just a lot flatter, but definitely very green and like cool. See lots of sheep and things like that. Yeah, so we pulled up like, and that's the thing. Like what you see when you look at the Northland, like there's no towns or anything like that. You just see these really long beaches and like different angles of coastline and stuff like that. You're like, man, there's got to be banks out there. There's a couple of well-known point breaks and stuff like that right around the tip, but we're kind of like right in the central part of it on the west coast. And like the swell when we rocked up, it was like fucking amazing. But it was weird. I thought it was kind of small, but one thing about New Zealand, it's been really hard for me to judge the wave height because even at the beach breaks, for example, they're breaking so far out. The banks are just sitting so much further out than on the east coast of Australia. Like a lot of the time, even for like a 3-foot wave, it's sort of breaking like 150 meters off the shore. And it had been raining a lot. And I'll share a photo of this beach on my Instagram story or something like that. But this beach we were surfing is literally 107 kilometers long. And the whole thing is just framed by these giant red clay cliffs. But because it had been raining so much, it is kind of washing the red clay off and then into the ocean. So it just made the water, it was really nice and idyllic looking, but it also made it murky. And just like big open beaches, like it's a really good fishing spot. So there's a lot of food in the water. And then with things being murky and there was kind of this like algae in the water as well. It just, you know how we were saying there's no sharks in New Zealand before I went on this trip? And like, that was one of the things I was absolutely G'd up about. That was the only reason why we went out in surf that looked like this. Like, if you showed me that beach in Australia, I'd be like, hell fucking no. Anyone who goes out there is a dead man. But it's just, again, we have this vibe or this idea that New Zealand's a lot less sharky. Let me tell you, New Zealand is not less sharky. There's sharks fucking everywhere. Which was what I originally thought. It's just people who've been to New Zealand more than me being like, no fucking sharks in New Zealand. You talk to the locals, they're like, mate, there's sharks fucking everywhere. They get different kinds of sharks. I don't even know about that, honestly.
Is it
the shark behavior is likely different because there are some environmental differences in terms of where the food is. So Australia has more great whites and there's higher likelihood based on like the food and shit like that, the great whites are going to be closer to shore in Australia. Whereas with New Zealand, there's much higher likelihood of them sort of being out the back. But like, even where we stayed in Gisborne, which is a surf town at the main beach, they're like, no, there's a big great white breeding ground just at the other end of the fucking beach. You always see giant great whites there. Anyway, didn't see a great white. This one was a bronze whaler, which when I look at, like, when I study the bronze whaler on Google in detail, it's a lot less scary because when you compare the mouth of those things compared to a great white just looks like so much more of a killing machine. And when it comes to humans, the stats reflect that. There's been like 15 recorded attacks of bronze whalers on humans. There was only one fatality though. And that, like I said, that makes a lot of sense to me when you look at the mouth of the thing. Like, look at that thing. But shit. They'll fucking, they'll maim you for life. They might take a leg or something like that. And they can get big. Yeah. Like, so the one we saw, I would say, was like anywhere between 6 to 8 feet. All right. Sorry. Yeah, I should just continue telling the story. Anyways, I had the sharkiest surf of my life. Just me and my mate on this beach. There was one guy like 3 banks down, probably like a couple of 100 meters away from us. But just the whole beach, it felt like a scene out of Interstellar, but with pumping waves. Okay, that's sort of the setting, and murky water, and just fucking. Whole time we were out there, like Burns was like, I don't feel good about this. I didn't feel good about it either, but I didn't want to go double negative, so I was like, well, I'll just be the positive one. But I liked that he was scared because I was like, I know if I want to go in now, like there's no like, oh, I won't have to feel like the pussy because you'll be like, yes, let's go in. So yeah, in it together. And anyway, so we caught a couple of waves. We spent most of the time shitting ourselves. Here's the other thing. I've talked about it at home, right? Where just you get those days, you're like, I'm a fucking real one. I want overhead barrels. I just want pumping pits, just me and my mate and no one else for hundreds of miles. I don't know if I want that. I think that scares the absolute fuck out of me. I mean, like I said, it was just that it seemed especially sharky and I'm not used to surfing. It was the expansiveness of the whole fucking thing. You couldn't see a corner to the beach, had to paddle really far out. The waves were twice as big as I thought they were going to be. Like I have my step-up board in the car, but just looking at it from the shore, I was like, oh, this might be a little bit boring. It might be a little bit too small. Like the shape of it's just so good. No, it was like double fucking overhead. Not that
so the car having my step-up board would have been from the shore?
So far away.
Oh,
like even on the paddle out was hard, and it was just like we were fucking struggling with it. But then I was also sort of like, I wasn't like sprinting to get out there because I was like, oh, this is getting kind of gnarly. But just one of those things where you just keep paddling away, and after 20 minutes, we're probably out there. And once you've done the main paddle, after you catch a wave, oh, Jacob, you would have been so cooked. Yeah, now you have an appreciation for the shit I get up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, got out there. And like I said, there was some good shape to it. So we didn't have to worry about catching bomb sets on the head. It was just that like, oh, I'm already so far away. I don't want to be unnecessarily far out because that feels scarier. As soon as your mate catches a wave, you're like, please fucking hurry up and get out here. I don't want to be, for some reason, just having someone beside you feels a lot better. Anyway, we got in, didn't see a shark. Saw a lot of shit, saw a lot of shadows, but you always see shadows when you're in the surf. So you just convince yourself it's something else. And a lot of the time it probably is. Anyway, next day it was a little bit smaller, breaking closer to the shore and just overall looking like you could see through the water a little bit more. Anyway, absolutely pumping, a little bit friendlier, but still just me and him out. So we go out and probably like legit 10 minutes in, I catch a small crappy wave. I turn around and I like look over the wave to sort of see what's going on out the back. And like I said, 1.5 meters behind Burns, I just see this big fucking splash of water. And fucking at the last beach we were staying at, we're just sort of talking with the locals about ocean predators. And because one of the locals was like, Matt, you know what you got to worry about here? It's not the sharks. It's a fucking leopard seal. Like I've seen a leopard seal come at someone at Piha. It's like, fucking, like, and
what do they do?
Size. Google leopard seal. They absolutely thrash seals. And I don't know if one's been documented harming a human, but they would if they wanted to. And that was sort of the first thing I was like, is that maybe a leopard seal? I was like, what the fuck is that? And Burns was slightly closer to shore than him, 1 meter behind. And he was looking out towards the ocean, just looking for waves. But just with how big the disturbance was, I was like, there's no way that Burns isn't going to look over at that. But I really learned, because this is the thing, on drones, you see, there's a lot of accounts that document shark activity and stuff like that and just their interactions with surfers. And a lot of the time you'll see footage of a shark near a surfer and you're like, how is that surfer so oblivious to the shark? This fucking 2.5 meter killing machine that's just sitting like just a couple of meters away from him. But you realize like a crashing wave, especially one that's like barreling, it makes so much noise that, I mean, you try to yell out to your mate in the ocean all the time and they don't hear shit. So yeah, it's just thinking about that and seeing it actually fucking happen. Like there's a shark thrashing around behind my mate. Like what the, please look at it, Burns. Anyway, then I see a fin and immediately as soon as I see a fin, I'm like, look for multiple fins. If you see multiple fins, it means it's dolphins. Like sharks, hammerheads go around in packs, but by and large, the sharks that you're worried about, they're just sort of solo hunters and things like that. And just looking around, can't see any other fin because I didn't have time. I just saw the fin as I jumped over a wave because this is like as I'm trying to get back out there after catching a wave myself. And so I didn't have time to see because there was obviously the pattern. A shark fin just cruises super steady. Dolphins are just perpetually bobbing. It's just got such a more friendlier vibe as well. So then my mate duck dived through a wave and sometimes I saw the thing that I was watching in the wave and I was like, okay, please just surf the wave because that's the other thing that a dolphin will do that a shark will never do. Dolphins, mega playful. When they see waves, they always love going for a surf. They'll like swim along in the face of the wave, getting barreled and shit like that. Didn't see any of that shit. It was just going the complete other way. Saw this huge flash of a tail as it's going through the wave, going directly for my fucking mate. Like I see Burns go through the wave and then a split second later, I just see giant tail just like whip through. I was like, oh, he's fucking gone.
Was it like head on like this?
He was here and it was here. He goes through the wave. It goes, and I was like, oh, it's fucking going for him. At this point, so this is all happening in the space of a couple of seconds. I think, so as I saw the splash, I was like, oh, Burns. More being like, look at this thing. Just be like, check it out. Have a look at that if you want to. Might be interesting. And I'm pretty sure he heard that, but then he's duck diving through the wave. And like, as I managed to see after he's duck dived that wave and then I jump over it, I see him off the board. I'm like, oh my God, it's bitten him. Fucking, oh fuck, I've got to go paddle out towards him because he probably needs help getting in because I obviously just really wanted to get to shore at this point. And I was like, come in. Anyway, a couple of seconds later, I saw him back on his board. It was just the wave was pretty powerful. It knocked him off his board during the duck dive. And at that point, I start to feel better because the way shark attacks happen is if it was on, like it's just fucking on. It's just going to go for you straight away. But it hadn't at that point. I couldn't see the shark anymore. I also couldn't see any other fins because at this point, I'm still just like, fucking please show me some other fins. I just want to see 20 fins bobbing happily through the ocean. I could be like, oh, it's just me seeing something that I'm not actually seeing. But yeah, then we went in. That kind of sucked. I mean, it was a cool experience. I'll say that, but it was slightly traumatic.
Did you see the shark itself or no? Just the fin?
Yeah. I mean, what more do you fucking need to see? It doesn't stand up and walk across the water like Jesus.
No, I thought when you were under, I thought you saw the thing.
No, because I was probably 20 meters away from this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is we were sort of talking about it. So like even as Burns got onto the sandbank, so we didn't go all the way in because again, we're like 100 meters away from shore, but we're just on this like waist deep sandbank, which is still a little bit how you going, but still just feels much safer than bobbing out there. And he's like, what did you see? Because he just came in. He thought I was yelling. Maybe I like snapped my leg or like injured myself after a wave or something like that. He still hadn't seen shit. Like when he heard me yelling, he was like, potentially a couple of things here. Like obviously I need to go in urgently. Maybe Angus has hurt himself. Oh, it could be a shark, but didn't see shit. And it was so fucking close to him. So yeah, it was just cool. So we don't fucking make it seem like sharks are just the ultimate human predator, like they're hunting us on purpose. It sort of restored my belief that they are good at detecting what their food is, you know? Like as much, this isn't just from that experience. Obviously your personal experience shapes your perspective a lot. But like, I've seen so much drone footage of it as well. Just sharks kind of even displaying semi-aggressive approaches towards humans, but just registering like, oh, that's actually not what I like to eat. That's something else. I'll just sort of fuck off and like abandon target. Because that's sort of what it looks like it did. It either drilled a fish right next to him behind him, and that's what that splashing was, or zoomed in and was like, nah, that's not my food. And that's why they warn you to not surf in murky water close to dusk. Because if the shark's eyesight or the shark doesn't have good visibility, and like I said, they're pretty fucking good at doing their job and not murking humans. But you make the shark's job harder when you're out there in murky conditions and it's just in kill mode. And it's like, ooh, tasty snack. And that just fucking pumps a human, which is still nutritious for the shark. It's just bad for the human.
Well, I guess it's good that like you guys had the consensus beforehand that it was a bit scary. Because if you weren't on edge already, I just think like,
oh man,
it would have been Burns. He would have just like.
Okay, here's the other thing though, because we were like, fuck, if none of us saw that, say I just took a little bit more time getting up after my wave. And like Burns didn't see it at all. So hypothetically, if I hadn't seen it and we kept surfing, I mean, who knows? I feel like there's a lot of sharks. Just whenever you're like, this looks sharky, and then you see a shark, like pretty quickly, it's like, I doubt that's the only shark. But there's a good chance that we just get to enjoy that surf and we have the surf of our fucking lives and we don't even know what's out there. And we're totally fine the whole time. Also a chance fucking shark just straight up kills us. So I'm not being ungrateful here. But it was just a little bit of a shame because I was like, fuck, like this was a little bit exactly what we came for. Like but like I said, sometimes you get a bit more than you bargained for. It's all part of the story. Now it's content. Don't we love a little bit of content? So we got out of the Northland pretty quick, smart. Then we drove down to Gisborne, which is like Gisborne is the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life. Those real giant fucking rolling hills that are like 100 meters high or whatever, with all streams running through them and just sheep and cows everywhere. That's all from Gisborne. Gisborne's like a town of it's a surf town. Sorry, not just a surf town, but it's got a bunch of different breaks on like the southeast coast of New Zealand. I guess it's like a farming town or something like that. But just outside of the town, like 5 minutes out of town, again, the most insane rolling. You know the rolling hills we get on the south coast, Harvey, like around Kiama?
The GPP group program is the best deal in strength and conditioning. For less than $1 a day, you get access to my programming as well as access to me through a group chat where you can reach out, ask questions, or have a form check. You can even get a week for free before you commit to it. Check out the show notes for more info.
So it's like that, what you see down at Kiama, but the rolling hills are like the size of the fucking escarpment.
Yeah, right. Yeah, crazy.
And it's fucking everywhere. And then if you're not completely covered by that side to side, you've just got sick beaches all around. Like that goes all the way up until the beaches. There was also this road that was like winding around the cliffs. I've definitely seen it in a car ad, and where like the waves are like lapping up right until the fucking road. Like,
wow.
That's the thing. Even to get to Gisborne, you got to go through, again, another national park that's just sort of back to those like bushy, sort of rainforesty mountain looking things. Yeah, the trek into Gisborne and just even looking all around Gisborne for surf, I can't say that anywhere in the world is like more beautiful than that as far as just like, yeah, genuinely jaw-dropping shit. I wouldn't know what to do if you didn't surf, or if you love your hiking, if you love your fishing.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like,
that just loves those sort of quiet country towns. Like, I love quiet country towns because I get to chill and I get to surf. If you don't have a hobby that's facilitated by being in rural areas, I'm not sure what you're doing here. You're probably one of those cunts going to Hobbiton, I guess. drove past the turnoff for that.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, other than that, been drinking a lot.
Are you there now?
I'm in Raglan. So this is where we spent the whole of the time in our last surf trip. So there's actually, yeah. So I'll talk about drinking beers and making toasted sandwiches after this. First day we got to Raglan was fucking huge. Which yeah, it was big. It was big and it was fucking stormy. Like, oh God. Man, that was like, we were both a bit nervous again. We just sat and watched it for a couple of hours. Yeah, we watched it for like 3 hours, the tide change, because Manu Bay, it was just breaking like straight across. And like, I just don't want to have to deal with an 8-foot wave in the middle of the fucking ocean. Like, as much as when it's in the middle of the ocean, it's not going to break as intensely. I just hate being way out in the ocean. It's not a comfortable sort of place to be for any human. I think some people embrace it a little bit more than me. Like, I deal with it. Anyway, when the high tide came in, the waves were just as big, but they were just hugging the point a little bit better. So I was like, oh, sweet. It just feels better being close to shore. Especially when you surf in a place that you're not that familiar with. But again, if you want to fucking travel around, do stick surf trips, you have to push yourself to do that stuff. So that was a real win. We just got out, caught a couple of waves each, and then came in. Because that was kind of the discussion. Like, Burns wasn't that hyped. And I was like, yeah, but think how G'd up you'll be when you come in from it. And he was like, yeah, fucking A. Then he went out, we absolutely did the thing. Oh, that was the other cool thing. So there was a seal just chilling. Oh, nice. 8-foot pumping Raglan, and just this cute little seal just acting like a puppy dog in the heaviest bit of the break the whole time. We came back like 4 hours later for an afternoon, like just before sunset surf check, and it was still there. Like, seal just like literally all day, just frolicking around in the waves with the boys. They're absolutely puppy dogs. Like, it's crazy.
Of the ocean, yeah.
Nerve wracking because you're like, fuck, that is shark food right there. But then again, like, you think that the shark's going to pump that seal instead of a human. Well, I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. Yeah. And this is the thing. Raglan, I will say, doesn't feel very sharky. And sharks, it's a vibe thing. It's very much a vibe thing. If you look at something,
has that always been accurate, your vibe?
Some people look at the ocean and they're like, it's sharky. And look, they're not wrong either. The ocean is pretty sharky. But you get a vibe. Like, all beaches that are shark infested, like, you could show people who don't surf photos of different beaches. You're like, what do you reckon about this setup? And like, trust me, the vibes tell you a lot. Raglan just doesn't have that vibe. It's it's just a little slice of paradise, really. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm out of adjectives other than just like epic, beautiful, lush green, because you kind of use that to describe all the areas we've been. They're just different amounts of either greenness, mountainous, pumping waves, or like depending on what the town's like. And Raglan's even kind of that sweet spot in terms of how dense the town is. It's just like phenomenal little surf town. It's probably, can I get a Google on population of Raglan? I'm typing with one.
I got a word for you. Ethereal.
Yeah, it could be a little bit. So Raglan's got a population of just under 4,000 people, to give you an idea.
Oh, really? Remote.
It's also got the best like flat day activities. So when there's no surf, you can go clay pigeon shooting. Whereas when there's no surf in a lot of the towns that we've been going to, it's like, well, let's just crush beers all day. Which I'm not complaining about that. That and just take a really long time to cook a toasted cheese sandwich. Like, I tell you what, like, yeah, the surf trips, they make you appreciate the simple life. When you just got fucking nothing to do, like, your biggest job of the day is maybe making a post on Instagram. I mean, I've even been taking a couple of days off that over here, but just like taking fucking half an hour to 40 minutes to make a toasted sandwich, especially when you don't have the toasted sandwich press. It's like, dude, it
All in the
makes
fry
it
pan?
taste better. Yeah, in the fry pan, just with the spatula pressing it down, butter in the pan. It tastes better. And I know it's like there's no real reason. It's BPS though. You know what I mean? Like that connection to your food. It's the thing of like if you catch the fish yourself and then eat it, you're like, fuck, this is some good fish. You know, is it? What are the odds that this is the tastiest fish that's ever been pulled out of the ocean? But it's that connection to what you're doing, man.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was my deep thoughts while I was fucking toasting a sandwich, roasting it in the pan.
Only cheese?
No. Fucking two different types of salami, two different types of salami, pastrami, and yeah, just capped either side with cheese, bit of mayo in there, and then like fried up, butter the outside of the bread, fried up in the pan, and then we got this like Ghost Reaper blueberry hot sauce that then like douse on the outside as well. So take a bite, throw the hot sauce on. Yeah, it's just fucking phenomenal stuff. What other tasty treats have been at?
Quick detour.
Yeah.
Angus's Matthew McConaughey tuna concoction is some of the.
Bro, I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah. I've ever had.
Because like fucking, I get all G'd up about it. Like whenever fucking, I'm pretty sure. Did I make it for Tim Champion? I might have done it to him as well. I can't remember, but basically, if you've been to my house in the last 3 months, I've probably got some of Matthew McConaughey's tuna salad sandwich mix in the fridge, and I will try to present it to you. And if your mind isn't blown, I'll get a bit sad about it. But so far, everyone I feed
it's a them problem.
Has had the right reaction. One sec. Oh, Burns. Did I give you the Matthew McConaughey tuna sandwich? No. That's crazy.
Oh, dude, you have to whip it up for him.
It's a lot of ingredients to buy when you're on a holiday. When we're back at mine, I'll make it. Fuck, I haven't even made it for Burns. He'll love it though. He'll love it though. But so many people who I talk about it to, they're like, man, why do you give a shit about that stuff? It's just fucking random celebrity. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Matthew McConaughey. It just, when you hear the recipe, it actually sounds pretty good. And guess what? It's better than good when you actually try it. The other thing about it is, there's so much natural variance in it because there's so many ingredients, you're not going to measure it. And that wouldn't be in the spirit of the dish either, right? When you're making a sandwich, it's art, not science. You're playing jazz, not classical music. You know what I mean? It's all feel-based, taste a little bit as you go. But that's the thing, even that, or maybe it's more like clay pottery because, you know, you can do all the assessing you want, but then you throw that bad boy into the kiln. And our kiln for our sandwich filling is the refrigerator overnight. Because that's when it really comes to life. Like all those flavors just getting to know each other a little bit better, embracing each other. Oh, that's the thing though. Here's the thing. So we don't have that much access to jalapeno corn chips, which is one of the ingredients. So I just crush up regular corn chips, but I chopped up some fresh jalapeno. Recurring theme on this podcast. When I was on my jalapeno kick and I just had some in the fridge, chopped up some fresh jalapeno, which is the variation that Jacob actually tried, I believe. I made so many batches of this shit. I can't actually keep track of them, but pretty sure that had the fresh jalapeno in it. Blew his socks off. Tell me, how many better sandwiches you had than that in your life? Not many.
Not many. Honestly, there was it's a lot to process. It was great for my dopamine. I was just like, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Dude, it's like a sensory experience. You're smelling things, like that's a part of it, but like it's lighting up every corner of the palate. It's like Floyd Mayweather just getting in there and hitting 12 punch combos on your tongue.
Yeah,
unbelievable. I serve it as an open sandwich, just for everyone. Just if you want to experience like some good multigrain bread, slap that in the toaster. Like not pushing it to be too brown or anything silly, but just something so you got a nice stable base for your open sandwich. Oh god, it's fucking good. Is it calorie conscious for dieters? I'm thinking.
Probably
I think it's not too hectic. If you went with light mayo, everything else is pretty vinegary and fibery.
It's healthy. It's just
I don't think it's too egregious. No, that's it. The protein's honestly not amazing because if you do it right, like what's the ratio of tuna to everything else? Like tuna's probably making up 40 to 50% of the bulk of it.
Okay.
I would say at most. No, that's eyeballing it, guys. I'm not 100%.
That's probably a stretch. I'd say 35.
Oh, really? No, and that's what I want to mean. It's not tuna heavy. For something that's a tuna sandwich, it's not tuna heavy, but it's a tuna salad.
It's super healthy. Fiber out the wazoo. You're getting a bunch of different colored veggies.
The freshness, it has that healthy taste. but like still like a little bit indulgent. It's great shit. It's great shit. All right, Harvey, you're getting it next. Burns is getting a big batch of it too. Fucking, and it's pretty simple to make. Like you have to have the ingredients, and once you buy them all, then you sort of set up to make infinite batches. Then you just got to keep replacing the cans of tuna. Buy a fresh apple. Most people usually got a red onion hanging around. And dude, the apple is my favorite. The apple's the star of the dish, 100%. The crispness, sort of
the texture
balances out like so many the creaminess of the mayo and stuff, and like. It gets me going. Fuck. So many parts of it get me going because they're the jalapenos, but they're not even on the script. So let's not emphasize that too much.
We absolutely love doing this show. And one of the most exciting things for us is watching it grow because it means we can commit more time to it, as well as have access to better guests to bring you even more quality content. One of the most impactful ways you can help us grow the show is by shouting it out, screenshotting this episode, and sharing it on your stories to let people know that you're listening. Don't underestimate how influential you can be on helping us grow this show, and we appreciate it so much.
What's happening in the fitness industry? I just can't really get away from this whole TikTok bodybuilder stuff, to be honest. It's just clogging my feed like no tomorrow. Some players
it's pretty frustrating.
Run this guy, some other guys.
Because here's the thing, like Runvis is right about a lot of what he says, but his physique is pretty average. I say that as someone in the fitness industry with an average physique. I've got my hands fully up, but only because he goes after a lot of people's physiques. I'm like, man, like one, it's just, you have to rough hand genetically. I have a policy. If you want to talk shit about other people's physiques and you're on the jab, you better look like Chris fucking Bumstead. In that vein, I'm hyperbolizing a bit here, but like, look, fucking dial. I don't want to see anything out of place. I don't want to see any lagging body parts below the average man. And like I said, Runvis, your 600-pound squat was high. It was like, you can't hang your hat on that. His bench press was clean. Yeah, like I said, like I said, I agree with the man. A lot of things he says, just some things I'm like, have some self-awareness, cunt. I mean, fuck, I probably shouldn't be saying.
What are your thoughts on the Alex Sterner stuff with him? About the
that was another dumb thing. But like he's got Runvis is having a come up in social media where he'd have so many people glazing him, it'd be sort of hard to regulate yourself. So like I expect it. I've had shit takes, but that was Runvis's take on what was it? You should be ashamed of being fat. As someone who has never been fat in his life and spent a great deal of time working with fat loss oriented population. Fat people live with so much fucking shame. They know they're fat. It's one of the few addictions you can have where everyone knows that that's your fucking addiction. Like you have no privacy with it. And like, this is the thing, like Runvis has spoken about addiction and these types of things. And I think his tone or the way he approached it was actually quite good. It was like, hey, like have some compassion for yourself and like, let's get through this and let's like just build ourselves up. And yeah, this is the thing. Like this idea that fat, obese people are just going through life going, no, fat pride. I'm the best. Nothing's wrong with me. It's like, no, that is not what it's like. There might be some people on TV shows like that. There might be some people like, well, I'm morbidly obese, but I eat my protein in chicken nuggets, so I'm healthy. The doctor said my bloods is fine. Like those people do exist. But the average overweight person, here's the other thing. I believe Alex Sterner touched on this. With a lot of like seriously food addicted people, man, like it is not that I want you to start looking at every fucking obese person and be like, oh, they got violated as a child. But just when you look at just the way like so many people medicate themselves with food, essentially, for just like horrible fucking shit that happened to them. Because this is the thing, like, you talk about like, you know, the government makes certain things inaccessible to people because they are so addictive and they are so comforting to traumatize people. That's not the only reason, but like, you know, they have negative impacts on society. But food is just that thing. I mean, you could make a similar argument about alcohol, especially in Australia. Well, we do some things to restrict it. But yeah, if that's the thing that you're addicted to, sucked in, because society ain't doing much to prevent you from getting your hands on the substance that you'd love to abuse so much. So yeah, like it's the society, and that's the thing. Like it's sort of like people are like, oh, society's gone too fucking woke, and maybe in some ways it has, but just because the messaging around obese people and what they should be getting up to has got a little bit better, in like the last 5 to 10 years, people are now just like, oh, you see, like we're in the fat acceptance here. It's like, no, we're not. We're just in the era where we're trying to not shame the absolute fuck out of them and make them the butt of every joke and make it their whole fucking identity. And again, this is the reason I'm passionate about this is a lot of it does feed into the GPP ethos. Like a big part of the general population impacts we're trying to have is like, one, yes, to make personal trainers more like S&C coaches, because that feeds into that whole thing of looking at overweight people as more than just an overweight person, looking at them as a person who wants to do mad shit. And like we're in line with what the health at every size movement actually is. This is another one of the heartbreaking things about idiots in the fitness industry on both sides, because on both the loudest sides of the health at every size movement, the message is being completely bastardized. Again, you've got fucking extra morbidly obese Sally who's just like, this is good for me. It's fucking, you can be as obese as you want and you live for a very long time. Like, she's full of shit. That's not health at every size. But it's also not, sorry, and because that's what the people on the other side of the fence attack. They're like, see, people just want to be morbidly obese. It's like, no, the idea of health at every size is, because a lot of people who are overweight and not overweight have this all or nothing mentality. They're like, well, I'm an overweight person. Why do I need to be going out and buying protein powder or like protein foods or something like that? Or like, I'm an overweight person. Why should I even be lifting weights? That's for jacked people. It's like, no matter what size you are, you should treat yourself well and you should engage in health-seeking behavior. That's what health at every size means. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's an awesome fucking movement that every trainer should get behind. Health at every size. It just means try your fucking best and don't have an all or nothing mentality. It's not some fucking freak show trying to get us to accept a disease as something that is normal or good for you. Anyway, this is why I post a lot of content on social media, but you should log off occasionally. I know everyone says you want to get your daily dose of Gus. Maybe skip it some days because like it's not just me posting. There's people who post fucking dumb things. And when you're not on Instagram as much or social media as much, it frees up more time to study other sources.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think it's also having that internal state no matter what level is. Like you look in the mirror and see like, you know, I'm fat, but then you go to the barbell or you go to jump or you go to run and you go, oh, I can do this shit. I'm like these other people. And that's the biggest kick up the arse, not up the arse, sorry. That's the biggest ego boost for yourself to actually get the ball rolling with other aspects of your health and fitness, like eating. So you can match that internal state, you know, and do the external with the healthy eating habits and stuff like that. So I think it's one of the easiest ways to change your internal state of like well-being. To be able to.
Well, this is the thing as well. Like overweight people, like they go to the doctor. The doctor's like, "You fat. You're gonna die soon. Like stop that." And they're like, "Fucking hell!" Like and like,
thanks
you can't
for
ignore that.
that.
But like, so there can be other things going on with them that they want to address. And then they go to a personal trainer because they want to run faster because they feel like they're letting the team down at the weekly hoop. And then the personal trainer's like, "You're fat." And they're like, "Can't. I know I'm fat." Shut up. Whether I'm fat or not, what are we here to fucking do? And they're trying to go, lift weights, I guess. Like
exactly.
Yeah. And I think the thing with food is
we're all lifting weights, eating protein, and jumping around. And that doesn't matter how fat you are, it's good.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing with food is as well is that like it's so much of it is so ingrained in you because or so much of your habits around it, I think, are so ingrained. And I think a lot of people do go through their lives kind of like, if you have not great habits because, I don't know, your parents weren't that nutritionally minded or whatever, I think a lot of people are going to get to like a stage where they can then kind of ride that out even through their 20s when their metabolism's kind of kicking. And then it kind of comes crashing down at a time when a lot of other things in their life pick up. Like I think a lot of people probably around the time they start like settling down and having kids or whatever also kind of start stacking the weight on, partially because of that, but partially because they're just like, you know, their body's kind of changing like internally. And I think it becomes like
Can I push
a
back
really
on
difficult thing to undo.
This is a good talking point. I think I understand what you're saying, but technically the metabolism does not slow down as much as it's made out to be as we age. And I'm sure you understand this, but just for anyone who's listening, it is that people just get less active. And like maybe some people put that under the umbrella of your metabolism slowing down because you're just not running the engine as much. But yeah, just for anyone who's listening, the age isn't really, well, when I say it isn't an excuse, it's like saying we all have 24 hours in a day to people who have kids. Like it gets harder to maintain.
Yeah.
The age that people don't go up to 30-year-olds and be like, what do you mean you don't play a sport? Fuck me. If I was fucking ruthless leader of the world, that would be legalized and put into the Constitution.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
You have to play sport until you're fucking 70. Otherwise, we kill you. Well, get off the island.
Yep.
That's my RFK.
Yeah. I don't know. Either way, I was just kind of more making the point that, like, I think it's one of those things that is way more. What's the word? I think it's way more conditioned and way less kind of like. I don't know. I think it is way more of it's like behavioral, and people almost like don't have the and all of this shit is, you know, like obviously I think alcoholism's, you know, a learned behavior in many ways as well. I think gambling's a learned behavior, blah blah. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those ones. I think it's tricky because I think it's not seen as harmful. I think people can live their whole lives thinking they're fine, and then it kind of does fall off a cliff a bit. Like I think a lot of people probably didn't really ever pay that much attention to what they were doing and weren't like stacking the one thing. And then I think it gets to a certain stage in their lives and all of a sudden they're like, oh wow, I have put on X amount of kilos. I don't look like I used to.
Yeah, it does slowly creep up.
I have all these other things that are like, you know, priorities that aren't that because it's never been a priority before.
Yeah. One other thing I'll say though, and it's just a different perspective. You don't have to change much to get a few things going your way because, and as much as all these things are so ingrained, like that, and that's part of the struggle, it's also not happening so quick. And so like, that's what I mean, to turn the tide. I think people see these people who are so obese and they're like, oh my God, this person needs drastic changes. Like not if you're accepting a longer timeline to bring it under control. But then like, just speaking candidly and honestly, that has its own difficulties as well, because like, I think that's something where we're getting much more individualized these days. Throughout my time in the fitness industry, 11 years, a long time. The conversation I remember when I entered the field was like, you don't want rapid fat loss. You want sustainable fat loss. But then rapid fat loss kind of made a comeback because people were like, mate, if you lose you see how fired up people get at the start of their diets, even the ones where typically people lose a lot of water weight before they've even lost any fat. But they're like, and people used to really shit on that. But now it's like, I think it's actually maybe a good thing because people just see lower numbers and get fired up. And like, you shouldn't be so attached to the number at the scale, but it's kind of like your client believing in toning. It's like they're coming in attached to the scale. You don't have to destroy that belief initially. You don't have to reinforce it either, but you can just like win them a bit of trust. Be like, fuck, man, look at this scale. It's flying down. Now will you believe me that the number on the scale isn't fucking everything? And, you know, we can just work on what's going on between the ears and get you less fat. But anyway, sorry. So nowadays I feel like, here's the thing. I feel like it's impossible to divorce the concept of rapid fat loss from heavily disordered eating and maybe triggering like some of that behavior or leading to some bad habits that they can't get out of that diet spiral. But again, that just really enforces to me that rapid fat loss, very slow fat loss, both of those things are like right for the right person at the right time.
100%. I think
give out based opinions here at GPP.
I think the slower the fat loss, the more of a learning process it is for the client. Like
you lost fat very slowly, didn't you?
Yeah, like they get to very like, it's more of an experience and more of a learning lesson, like a crash course in not crash course, like a course in how to eat properly, how to eat like an adult. And then once you have those toolkits, I think that fat loss should be quick every single time that you are going to do it intentionally.
Yeah.
Because once you've learned how to eat properly, it's just a matter of flicking a switch and that's going to be undefeated. And it'll be easy as well. Like you'll feel hungry, but you'll know what to do instead. With that, that's my opinion on that. But I do get that whole psychological buy-in component of it too. Which
credit to Atlas, he's really big on the fasting, which I don't think it's for everyone, but I like his perspective that it's like you don't have to worry about losing muscle and like, yeah, not eating at all disorder for some people, but it's like if you're fucking sweet and you haven't had a history of that sort of shit being a problem, it's like just fucking don't eat for 5 days if you bulk too hard. But again, like I don't know, like not for everyone, but like you're like, Yeah, I like the thinking around it. Won't catch me on a fast though.
Final thing I want to round up.
Yeah,
I've done it all. The best way to lose fat is just train like an athlete.
Yeah.
When you're racking up 30
Stan Efferding pushed back on that, like
twice a week. It's just so good. Like
Stan Efferding sent me a study. He was like, people just trying to increase their step counts and stuff like that, and then their metabolism actually getting a little bit fired up from that. But I still just can't get around. There still has to be an increase if you're really up your physical activity. Maybe that's it. Maybe if it's small, it does just get zeroed out by your body increasing its efficiency, decreasing its efficiency, I guess, of calorie expenditure. But you just see how much certain athletes have to eat. It's so hard when the science conflicts with what you've seen so much.
It's, I don't know, my personal anecdote, it's hard to get fat if you are genuinely racking up like a good amount of miles a week, as well as training 3 to 4 times a week and a track session. Like,
because that's it. I identify as someone who has a fast, quote unquote, metabolism. I don't even know what technically metabolism is, because I'm not sure if the things I'm about to speak to directly fall under that banner or if they're just adjacent. They're definitely things that impact metabolism.
Hey everyone, Matt Harvey here. I produced this podcast that you're listening to or watching just now, so if you like the way that it looks and sounds, that's partially down to me. If you've got a podcast, video, or other online project that you'd like some production help with, or even if you just want to chat through some ideas, drop me a DM or an email. My details can be found in the show notes below. Thanks so much for your time. On with the show.
Anyway, so there's so many things in my life that lead to me being a lean person and also a smaller person in terms of like my inability. So for example, my parents are pretty shredded, been shredded their whole lives. We ate really healthy growing up. I was always fucking shredded. I had abs since I can fucking remember. And because obviously your parents and their habits, they influence you a lot. They're the ones preparing your meals and shit like that for a large part of your early life. But then there's also the thing of the longer you are lean, the easier it gets to fucking stay lean. So check that off. Fucking 32 years of being shredded. Other than when I was a fat little baby. But as soon as I lost that baby fat, nothing went back on ever. Or whatever, a little bit when I bulked. But like I said, had to fight for my life there. The other things that I've sort of learned is I'm probably really oversimplifying this because I haven't looked into it since the cunt told me a couple of years ago, but it matched my experience and my frameworks for understanding the world, which is some people, there's an individual response to stress. The way they described it, there was cortisol responders and adrenaline responders. I don't know how scientific this is, but he was cortisol responders, they get stressed out and they fucking eat their feelings. Whereas more adrenaline based stress response, that kills your appetite. Regardless, I would just sort of look at it as an individualized stress response, but I'm much more in line with the crowd that loses their appetite as soon as they get stressed, which so when my business was up in flames back in the day and I was trying to bulk, God, that was fucking hell. God, some of the toughest days of my life, missing rent, not having many clients, trying to bulk, not having any appetite through the middle of the day, just being reminded how shit my business was, trying to overcompensate with eating later at night and ended up with my head in the toilet and just be like, oh my, what the fuck is my life?
Brutal times.
Yeah. It's not, people don't talk about how gnarly bulk. Anyway, whatever. I was meant to be talking about why my metabolism's so slick. Even when I was working at Fitness First, I looked back at my average step count from back then because the health app saves all your data on your iPhone. I was racking up 25,000 step count days walking around that gym, doing fucking 5 sessions, if that. We got it up eventually, but
5 sessions, 25K.
My life, and then especially at certain periods of my life. Also, what's my favorite hobby? Most energy intensive sport in the world, surfing. There's very small research
and you also
on
walk
that.
everywhere
Again,
too.
There is evidence for it. Yeah, the old Shoelace Express, my best friend. Well, catch a lot of Ubers, but yeah, no, I do walk a lot. I do walk a lot, and I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. I got a nice neighborhood to walk around.
Yeah, it's a good neighborhood to walk around.
Fuck, it's good.
Absolutely.
I love the gong. Love New Zealand, but I love the gong.
Gong's great.
Actually, fuck, if all my mates lived here, I think I would prefer here. It goes to show you the power of friendship.
Oh, absolutely. Makes the place way better.
Oh, all right, might go check the fucking surf, boys. Go see if Whale Bear's pumping. If you enjoyed the episode, fucking please share it on your story. I don't expect everyone to become a customer or share it on their story, but like if you don't want to buy in it, I mean, buying our shit is number one. If you really love us, you got to buy the stuff. But if you just enjoy the show, maybe you don't have money or you don't think GPP level 1 or coaching is for you or our group program is for you, but you do enjoy the show, give it a screenshot, share it on your story because that helps a fuck ton. And if you are a trainer as well, make sure you do a call to action every now and then. I want to say CTA, but when I say CTA, we get messages saying, what does CTA mean? And these are the people that need to hear it the most. So many trainers want more clients and they never say anything on social media. Like, again, not that that's the only way to get clients, but I do find it interesting how many people are like, how do you get online clients? I'm posting the content. I'm like, have you told people you want clients? And they're like, oh, shit. So yeah, do that, guys. So there we go. Got some Hormozy level value from the episode. I'll catch us next time.
Bye-bye.
See ya.